Jake loved video games and junk food, but when he lost a race at school, he knew something had to change. At first, it was just small steps: water instead of soda, a short walk instead of sitting all day. But soon, those small choices turned into big results. He replaced junk food with fresh fruits and veggies, fueling his body the right way. 1 month later, it was race day again. But this time, Jake wasn't just keeping up, he was winning. The crowd erupted as he crossed the finish line. His best friend ran up to celebrate Jake had done it. Because real change starts with one choice. What's your first step today?
Ray loved candy more than anything. But one day, he woke up feeling super weak. "Oh no! I can't even play with my toys!" he cried. His wise grandma gave him a basket of magic fruits. "Eat these and you'll feel strong again," she said. But Ray frowned. Fruits aren't yummy like candy. That night, he dreamt of superheroes who ate colorful fruits and veggies to get their powers. He decided to try them first, a juicy apple, then a crunchy carrot. Day by day, he felt stronger and faster. Soon, Ray could run faster, jump higher, and never felt tired. He smiled. Healthy food is magic. Moral: eating healthy makes you strong, happy, and full of energy.
In a bustling city, there was a belief that only experienced chefs could open a restaurant. But young Zoe had a different idea. She dreamed of opening a cafe with a unique twist. Zoe was just starting, and people doubted her. "You're too young," they said. "You don't have the experience." Despite the doubts, Zoe kept experimenting with her recipes, mixing flavors from around the world and infusing her dishes with creativity. When she finally opened her cafe, many were curious, but most thought she'd fail. Some even warned her, "Young chefs don't make it." To everyone's surprise, Zoe's cafe became a hit. The food was unique, bold, and packed with flavors no one had ever tasted before. Soon, customers lined up, and chefs from all over visited to see how she did it. Zoe proved that success isn't about age or experience. It's about believing in your passion and creativity. Moral: don't let stereotypes stop you from following your dreams. Creativity has no age limit.
In a beautiful kingdom, there lived a young girl named Lila. She had the most stunning golden hair and sparkling blue eyes. But Lila was proud of her looks and often teased others who didn't look as pretty. One day, she found an old mirror in the forest. Curious, she looked into it, expecting to see her lovely reflection. But instead, the mirror showed her face looking dull and sad. Shocked, she cried, "Why do I look like this?" A fairy appeared and said, "This is a magic mirror. It doesn't show outer beauty, but the beauty inside your heart." Lila felt ashamed and realized that kindness and goodness mattered more than looks. From that day on, she became kind and caring. The next time she looked into the mirror, she saw herself glowing with true beauty, her inner beauty. Moral: true beauty comes from kindness and a good heart.
One sunny morning, a farmer found a coin while plowing his field. It wasn't his, but he pocketed it, thinking no one would ever know. That evening, a stranger came to the farmer's house, claiming the coin. The farmer felt guilty and confessed, "It's yours." The stranger, impressed by the farmer's honesty, gifted him a magical seed. When the farmer planted it, it grew into a tree that produced endless fruit. Moral of the story: honesty is always rewarded.
In the small town of Willowbrook, there was a boy named Sam. He was kind and loved to read, but he was quieter than the other kids. Because of this, some children in his class, led by Jake, often made fun of him. "Hey, bookworm, do you even have a voice?" Jake would taunt while others laughed. Sam never fought back, he just lowered his head and walked away. One day, their teacher, Mrs. Collins, gave them a special assignment. She handed each student a blank sheet of paper and told them, "Crumple it, stomp on it, do whatever you want, just don't tear it." The children eagerly wrinkled their papers. Then Mrs. Collins said, "Now try to smooth it out and make it look new again." The kids tried, but no matter how hard they flattened the paper, the wrinkles remained. Mrs. Collins held up a crumpled sheet and said, "These wrinkles are like the effects of bullying. The scars of unkind words and actions never fully disappear. Every time you insult or hurt someone, you leave a mark they carry forever." Jake looked at Sam, realizing what he had done. That day, he walked up to him and said, "I'm sorry." Sam smiled and said, "Words can hurt, but kindness can heal." From that day on, Jake became one of Sam's closest friends, and the school became a kinder place. Moral: words and actions leave invisible scars. Choose kindness over cruelty. In a small village, there lived a young girl named Anya who always wasted time. She ignored her studies, delayed her chores, and never valued the clock's ticking. One day, an old wise woman gave her a golden stopwatch and said, "Every minute you waste, one gold coin inside will disappear." Excited, Anya kept it close, but as days passed, she noticed the coins vanishing. Panicked, she tried to stop it, but it was too late. The stopwatch was empty. The old woman returned and said, "Time is like these gold coins since lost. It never comes back." From that day, Anya valued every second, and her life changed forever. Moral: time is the most precious treasure. Use it wisely.
In a quiet village near a deep, dark forest lived a girl named Mia. She was small but had a heart full of courage. One evening, the villagers heard strange howls coming from the forest. Everyone was scared, thinking it was a dangerous beast. But Mia noticed the sound was soft, almost like a cry for help. With a lantern in hand, she bravely stepped into the dark forest. Shadows danced around her and glowing eyes peeked from behind trees. But Mia kept going. Soon she found a baby wolf trapped in some thorny bushes. It was hurt and scared. Ignoring her fear, Mia gently freed the little wolf. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound. Its mother and the rest of the pack were watching. Instead of attacking, the mother wolf licked her baby and gave Mia a grateful look. As the sun rose, Mia walked back home. The villagers cheered for her bravery, realizing that true courage means helping others, even when you're afraid. Moral of the story: bravery is not about having no fear, but about facing it to do what is right.
Deep in a busy forest, a small ant named Andy worked tirelessly with his colony. One day, the queen gave them a difficult task: collect food from a dangerous part of the forest. While the other ants were afraid, Andy volunteered to lead the way, determined to show that size didn't matter when you had courage. As the ants ventured deeper, they encountered obstacles: slippery rocks, thorny bushes, and a rushing river. The ants were frightened, but Andy encouraged them to keep going, showing them how to work together to overcome each hurdle. After many struggles, the ants finally reached their destination, a meadow full of food. Andy's bravery and leadership paid off, and the ants celebrated together, knowing that teamwork made them stronger. Andy realized that true bravery comes from not facing challenges alone, but lifting others up along the way. Together, they could achieve the impossible. Moral of the story: true bravery lies in helping others and working together as a team.
A bustling village market, with people buying and selling goods under the bright sun. A young girl with a simple dress and a curious face walks through the market, looking at the goods. The girl finds a shiny coin lying on the ground. The girl looks around, unsure if anyone is missing the coin. The girl briefly thinks about keeping the coin, but decides against it. She approaches an elderly woman who seems distressed, looking around for something. The girl gives the elderly woman the coin with a warm smile. The elderly woman smiles and thanks the girl, her eyes full of appreciation. The elderly woman pats the girl's head gently, her face full of joy. Suddenly, dark clouds gather above the market, and a storm approaches. The girl is caught in the rain and tries to find shelter quickly. The elderly woman calls out to the girl, waving her hand. The woman invites the girl to her warm home. The girl smiles gratefully as she steps inside, away from the rain. The woman offers the girl a warm cup of tea to comfort her. The girl accepts the tea with a thankful smile, both sitting by the fire. The rain starts to lessen as the two sit and chat. The sun begins to shine again, and a golden beam of sunlight fills the room. The girl smiles to herself, thinking about the kindness she has received. The girl walks out into the sunshine, ready for the day, feeling happy.
A young girl named Lily, looking in a magical mirror, says, "I wish I looked like everyone else." Lily's classmates start laughing at her for her different appearance, her curly hair, freckles, and unique smile. The magic mirror shows her different, perfect versions of herself, each time changing her features to what others consider beautiful. At first, Lily feels happy, but soon she begins to feel like she's losing herself with every change. One day, Lily's grandmother notices her sadness. She says, "True beauty is not about looking like others, but being yourself." Lily smiles and stops looking at the mirror. The next day at school, she proudly walks with her natural features. And this time, her classmates start complimenting her for her uniqueness. Moral: your true beauty shines when you embrace who you are. Body shaming hurts, but self-love heals.
Ethan always wanted to be a great basketball player, but he hated one thing: hard work. He wanted to be the best without practicing. Every time he missed a shot, he got frustrated. "I'm just not good enough," he'd say. He watched his teammates practicing for hours, but Ethan always left early. One day, during an important game, he had a chance to win it for his team. He took the shot and missed badly. The crowd sighed and his coach said, "Talent is nothing without effort, Ethan." Ethan felt embarrassed. He realized that while others worked hard, he gave up too soon. Instead of quitting, Ethan decided to change. He started practicing early in the morning and late at night. He kept shooting, running, and learning. Months later, he got another chance, a final shot in a big game. This time, he was ready. He took the shot. Swish, the crowd cheered loudly. He finally understood that success doesn't come easy. It's earned. Moral: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Never give up too soon.
In a vast open field, a tiny seed lay buried beneath the hard soil. It dreamed of growing into a tall, strong tree, but the soil was dry and the sun was scorching. Days passed and no sprout appeared. The little seed felt hopeless. One day, dark clouds gathered and a few drops of rain touched the earth. The tiny seed felt the cool water seeping in. It absorbed every drop eagerly, gathering strength to push through the soil. As the sprout grew, strong winds tried to bend it, and birds pecked at its tiny leaves. But it held firm, determined to grow taller each day. Seasons passed, and the sprout became a small tree. One day, it finally blossomed, its branches full of life. Birds nested in its shade, and travelers rested beneath it. The little seed had grown into a source of strength for others. The tree looked at the field where it once struggled and smiled in the wind. It had learned that struggles shape strength, and that patience and determination always lead to growth.
In a lush green forest, a bright orange fox named Felix lived all alone. He was clever but very selfish. He never shared his food or helped other animals. The forest animals avoided him because of his selfish ways. One day, a small rabbit named Remy approached Felix. "Please, Felix, I haven't eaten in days. Can you share a little food?" Felix laughed and said, "Why should I? Find your own food." The rabbit walked away sadly. The next day, Felix was drinking water from the river when he saw a deer struggling in the strong current. The deer cried for help, but Felix thought, "Why should I risk myself?" and turned away. Later that afternoon, Felix fell into a deep pit set by hunters. He tried to climb out, but the walls were too steep. He called for help, but no one came. Now he understood how others felt when he ignored them. Hearing Felix's cries, the rabbit, deer, and other animals arrived. "Why should we help you?" asked Remy. Felix, with tears in his eyes, replied, "I'm sorry for being selfish. Please give me a chance to change." The animals worked together, dropping vines and sticks into the pit, pulling Felix out. From that day on, Felix changed. He shared food, helped others, and became a beloved friend. He learned that kindness brings happiness. And so, Felix learned that selfishness leads to loneliness, but kindness creates friendship. Moral of the story: always be kind, and kindness will come back to you.
Jordan loved trying new things, but he had one big problem. He never finished anything. He started learning the guitar, but quit when his fingers hurt. He tried painting, but gave up when it got messy. He joined soccer, but quit after the first tough practice. One day, his school announced a huge go-kart race. Jordan was excited and started building his kart, but halfway through, he got bored and left it unfinished. On race day, his friends had amazing karts. Jordan looked at his half-built kart and felt embarrassed. That's when his dad said, "Winners don't quit halfway, Jordan." This time, Jordan refused to quit. He worked hard, finished his kart, and raced. He crossed the finish line, first place. More than the trophy, Jordan felt proud, because for the first time, he didn't give up. Morale: success isn't about starting, it's about finishing what you begin.
In a small fishing village in the Philippines, there lived a young boy named Miguel. He was strong and hardworking, but he believed he could do everything on his own. One day, a terrible storm hit the village, and the strong winds knocked down the house of an elderly woman, Lola Rosa. Seeing the damage, Miguel quickly grabbed his tools and began rebuilding her house by himself. As he struggled to lift the heavy bamboo poles, his friend Maria approached and said, "Miguel, let us help you." Miguel shook his head. "I can do it alone. I don't need help." Maria frowned but called the villagers anyway. Soon, men, women, and children arrived, carrying wood, nipa leaves, and tools. They began working together, singing as they rebuilt Lola Rosa's home. By sunset, the house was standing again, stronger than before. Lola Rosa smiled warmly, thanking everyone for their kindness. Miguel realized his mistake and said, "I was wrong to think I could do it alone. Together, we are stronger." Maria smiled. "That's the Bayanihan spirit, Miguel. Helping each other makes the impossible possible." From that day on, Miguel always worked with his neighbors, knowing that true strength lies in teamwork. Moral: teamwork and unity can achieve great things that one person alone cannot.
Ray loved playing near the forest. One day he saw an old man planting a tree. Curious, Ray asked, "Why plant it if you won't see it grow?" The old man smiled. "Just as others planted for us, we must plant for the future." Ray understood. He protected trees, cleaned the river, and inspired others. Soon the forest flourished with life. Years later, children asked him, "Why do you care for the forest?" He smiled, "Because saving nature means saving ourselves." Morale: protect nature today for a better tomorrow.
In a grand kingdom, there lived a monarch, King Malor, who ruled with an iron fist. He was powerful but unkind. His people lived in fear of his harsh rules and cold heart. One day, a little orphan girl named Alara, shivering and hungry, wandered into the castle seeking help. She pleaded for food, but the king turned her away with a cold voice, saying, "I have no time for the weak." Alara left, hopeless and afraid. Tears filled Ilara's eyes as she stepped away from the castle. The villagers watched in sorrow, but no one dared to help her, fearing the king's wrath. That night, as King Malor slept, strange visions filled his dreams. He saw Ilara alone, shivering in the cold, her face full of sorrow. He also saw his people suffering under his rule. For the first time, he felt something unfamiliar: guilt. As the dream continued, the king saw something astonishing. His kingdom, once filled with fear, transformed into a place of warmth and happiness because of kindness. The vision ended with Alara's face, looking hopeful. King Malor awoke, his heart pounding. He immediately called for his guards and ordered them to find Alara. His voice, once cold and commanding, now carried warmth and urgency. When Alara was brought before him, the king knelt before her, his voice filled with sincerity. "I was wrong," he said. "I have been a heartless ruler, but today I ask for your forgiveness." Tears welled up in Alara's eyes as she nodded, accepting his apology. King Malor declared a new rule, one of kindness and compassion. He ensured that no one in his kingdom would go hungry or be left alone again. The people, once fearful, now smiled with hope. With Alara by his side, King Malor became a ruler loved by all. The once fearful kingdom blossomed into a place filled with warmth and joy. And from that day on, the people knew that the greatest power of all was a kind heart. The once heartless monarch had become a king of kindness. And so his kingdom thrived, proving that true strength comes from the heart, not from fear. Moral: a heart full of kindness is more powerful than any crown.
Once upon a time, Prince Alden was arrogant and proud of his wealth and power. He treated everyone, including the villagers, with disdain, thinking he was better than them. One day, a humble old man came to the palace, claiming to be wiser than the royal family. The prince decided to test him with 3 questions. First, he asked, "What is the most valuable thing in the world?" The old man answered, "Kindness." Second, "What is the key to happiness?" "Gratitude," he replied. Finally, "What is the greatest strength of all?" "Humility," said the old man. The prince, furious, tried to banish him, but then a storm suddenly struck the kingdom. The prince, realizing his arrogance had angered the gods, begged the old man for help. The old man calmed the storm and taught Alden the lesson of humility. From that day on, Prince Alden became a kinder, wiser ruler, and his kingdom thrived. Moral: true strength is in humility, not power.
Once upon a time in the kingdom of Celeria, there ruled a queen named Seraphina. She was kind and wise, but she had one unusual gift. Her tears held magical powers. Whenever she cried out of love or sadness, her tears could heal wounds, bring life to withered plants, and even mend broken hearts. However, Seraphina was not happy. Her people often came to her only when they needed something: healing for the sick, help for their crops, or peace in their troubled hearts. They saw her as a source of miracles, but no one asked how she felt. One day, a little girl named Lila approached the queen, not with a request, but with a simple question. "Your Majesty, are you happy?" Seraphina was taken aback. No one had ever asked her that before. With a sad smile, she replied, "I do not know. My heart feels heavy, but I do not wish to burden others." Lila held the queen's hands and said, "Then today, I will be your friend. You heal the kingdom? But who heals you?" For the first time in years, Seraphina felt warmth in her heart that did not come from magic. She realized that kindness should flow both ways, and even those who help others need love and care in return. From that day forward, the kingdom changed. The people no longer came to her just for miracles. They came to share joy, laughter, and friendship. Seraphina was still the Queen of Tears, but now she cried happy tears too. Moral of the story: true kindness is not just about giving. It is also about receiving love and care. Even the strongest hearts need compassion in return.
A young boy named Tommy, standing on the racetrack in his sleek homemade F1 car, says, "This is my chance to prove I can be a champion." Tommy faces the biggest challenge of his life when he competes in the Junior Grand Prix against Max Lightning Lorenzo, the reigning champion. Max uses aggressive tactics to try to knock Tommy off the track. On the final lap, Max's car spins out of control, and Tommy sees the chance to win, but his conscience tells him something different. Instead of speeding ahead to victory, Tommy slows down to check on Max and make sure he's okay. Max is shocked by Tommy's kindness and gives him a thumbs up. Tommy finishes second, but he feels like a true champion. The crowd cheers, and even Max respects him for his sportsmanship. Moral: true victory isn't just about winning the race, but about showing kindness, sportsmanship, and heart. Helping others makes you a real champion.
Long ago, in a peaceful Korean village, Halmeoni So sat under a grand ginkgo tree, telling a tale. There was once a kind man, June. He fed the hungry, helped the poor, and treated all like family. But jealousy poisoned hearts. Fearing rumors of forbidden magic, the villagers cast him away. June vanished into the mountains. Years passed, and a great drought struck. Desperate, the villagers dug deep, only to uncover a glowing heart buried beneath the earth. The moment they touched it, rain poured from the sky, reviving their land. The people wept, realizing June's kindness had never faded. It had simply been forgotten. As the village thrived once more, Halmeoni So smiled and said, "A good heart, no matter how deeply buried, will always shine through." In a small village in West Africa, a young hunter named Kwame was known for his incredible skill with a bow. He could shoot an antelope from far away and track the fastest animals in the jungle. But Kwame had one flaw. He was boastful and looked down on others. One day, an old hunter named Babatunde warned him, "A true hunter is not measured by his strength alone, but by his wisdom and respect for others." Kwame laughed. "Old man, your time has passed. I am the best hunter in this village." He ignored Babatunde's advice and set off into the jungle alone, eager to prove his greatness. As he walked deeper into the forest, he spotted a mighty buffalo. Without thinking, Kwame pulled out his bow and shot an arrow. The buffalo was wounded but did not fall. Instead, it charged at him with full force. Kwame ran as fast as he could, but he tripped over a tree root and fell. The buffalo was almost upon him when suddenly a group of villagers appeared, led by Babatunde. They waved their spears and made loud noises, scaring the buffalo away. Kwame, breathless and shaken, looked at Babatunde with gratitude. "I was foolish," he admitted. "I thought I was the greatest, but today I learned that wisdom, teamwork, and respect matter more than strength alone." From that day on, Kwame became a humble hunter, always listening to the elders and respecting the wisdom of others. Moral of the story: arrogance leads to downfall, but wisdom and humility bring true greatness.
One bright morning in Speedville, a group of young bikers loved racing their bikes through town. The fastest among them was Max, a daring and confident rider who never followed the speed limit. "Why go slow when I can go fast?" Max boasted, zooming past his friends. Lena, a wise and careful biker, warned him, "Max, speed limits are there for a reason. They keep us and others safe." But Max just laughed. "Rules slow me down." One day, the town organized a big biking event. The course wound through the streets with signs reminding bikers to stay within the speed limit. Max ignored them, racing ahead at full speed. Suddenly, a puppy ran onto the road. Lena, riding at a safe speed, quickly stopped and gently guided the puppy to safety. But Max, going too fast, lost control, swerved, and tumbled into a bush. When he got up, he was scratched and embarrassed. "I should have listened," Max admitted. The town's mayor, who had seen everything, smiled at Max and said, "Speed can be fun, but safety is more important. A true champion knows when to slow down." From that day on, Max followed the speed limits, becoming not just the fastest, but the smartest rider in Speedville. Morale: following speed limits isn't about going slow, it's about keeping everyone safe.
Emma had always been afraid of heights, but today, she stood at the base of the tallest climbing wall in the park. Her heart raced. Could she really do this? She started climbing, but it wasn't easy. Her hands slipped, her legs trembled, doubt crept in. "Keep going, Emma, you've got this," her coach called out. And something inside her changed. She took a deep breath and climbed higher. One step at a time, one hold at a time. She kept pushing forward, until finally, she reached the top. She did it! Emma conquered her fear, and in that moment, she felt unstoppable. Because true strength isn't about never being afraid, it's about climbing anyway.
One morning, people looked up to see a massive island floating in the sky. No one knew where it came from or how to reach it. A failed inventor, an old magician who lost his powers, and a talking crow teamed up to uncover its secret. The inventor built a flying machine. The magician whispered forgotten spells, and the crow guided them through the stormy winds. Upon landing, they found a glowing crystal at the island's center. A voice echoed, "Only those who embrace their flaws can unlock true power." The magician's power returned. The inventor's machine transformed. The crow turned into a majestic guardian of the skies. Sometimes what makes us feel weak is actually our greatest strength. Believe in yourself. Your flaws may be your greatest gift.
In the pottery village, the warm ambiance fills the air as Thomas admires the strongest pots, believing strength lies in unyielding resilience. Thomas, a young boy with eyes full of wonder, is drawn to the hardest, most unyielding pots, a silent vow forming in his heart. In a small pottery village, a boy named Thomas admired the strongest, hardest pots. He believed that to be strong, one must never bend, never break. In the dimly lit workshop, the rhythmic squishing of clay sets the stage for a solemn request. With unwavering resolve, Thomas makes his unusual request. "Master Potter, I want you to make me a heart of solid clay, fired until it's as strong as a rock. Then I will be unbreakable." The potter pauses, his weathered face etched with concern as he cautions. "Are you sure, Thomas? A heart that is too hard may not be as strong as you think." "Unyielding," Thomas proclaims. "Yes, I want to prove that I am strong." The potter nods slowly, a thoughtful expression settling on his weathered face as he begins the intricate crafting process. Thomas parades through the village, his clay heart a beacon of pride as a villager warns. "That's impressive, Thomas, but be careful." Disaster strikes as Thomas stumbles, his precious clay heart plummeting to the ground with a deafening crack. Kneeling in disbelief, Thomas softly cries, "No, my heart, it's broken." The dream is shattered, the clay heart lying in fragmented ruins. Thomas bursts into the potter's workshop, his face a canvas of despair painted with streaks of tears. In a voice choked with anguish, Thomas cries out, "Master Potter, my heart is ruined. I wanted it to be strong." The potter responds with profound insight, declaring that a heart that is too hard will break. He continues, explaining that true strength lies in a heart that can bend, reshape, and heal. In the vibrant heart of the pottery village, Thomas moves with a newfound lightness, his heart brimming with kindness as he assists a friend, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the sun. From that day forward, Thomas carried a heart not of stone but of clay, as the narrator proclaims, strong, kind, and ready to shape the world with love.
Meet Sam, a fun-loving boy who loves to play outside but never cared about washing his hands or taking baths. Sam runs around in the dirt, laughing, then grabs a sandwich and eats without washing his hands. His mom watches, shaking her head. One day, Sam didn't feel so good. Sam clutches his stomach, groaning. His forehead is sweaty, and he looks miserable in bed. His stomach hurt, his head ached, and he had a fever. Uh-oh. His mom sits beside him, looking worried. Mom gently strokes Sam's hair and speaks in a caring voice. "Sam, germs are tiny but powerful. They can make us sick. Washing hands, brushing teeth, and staying clean keeps us healthy." Sam looks up, weak, but listening carefully. He nods slowly. Sam didn't want to feel sick again, so he changed his habits. Sam happily washes his hands at the sink, creating lots of bubbles. He takes a refreshing bath, scrubbing behind his ears, and brushes his teeth with a big smile. Sam runs outside, playing with friends, full of energy and happiness. His mom smiles, proud of him. Sam felt stronger, healthier, and never got sick as often again. Hygiene changed his life forever. Moral: good hygiene keeps us healthy. Stay clean, stay strong.
In the magical town of Colorvale, where colors danced in the sky, a young boy named Timmy loved painting rainbows. But one day, the colours started fading. The sky turned grey, and everything lost its vibrancy. Timmy heard a legend about the Keeper of Colour, a mysterious guardian who protected all the hues of the world. Determined to restore the colours, Timmy set off on a quest to find the Keeper. Along the way, he met a talking bluebird who told him that the Keeper resided in the crystal caverns beyond the misty mountains. Timmy ventured through dark forests, climbed rocky cliffs, and finally reached the glowing caverns. There he found an ancient being with shimmering wings, the Keeper of Colour. The Keeper revealed that colour disappears when people stop appreciating the beauty around them. Timmy remembered how he used to cherish every flower, sunset, and rainbow. He vowed to spread joy and appreciation. The Keeper smiled and gifted him a golden paintbrush. As Timmy waved it in the air, colours rushed back into the world, filling everything with life again. Timmy returned to Colourvale as a hero, reminding everyone that the world's beauty is only as bright as the love we have for it. Moral: appreciation brings colour to life.
Fairyland is a magical paradise where fairies live in harmony, their world glowing with enchantment. Tinker Bell and her friends enjoy the beauty of their home, unaware of the darkness ahead. A dark shadow spreads across the land as Malakar, the shadow sorcerer, casts a curse on the eternal crystal, draining its light. The once bright kingdom turns gloomy as fear spreads among the fairies. Tinker Bell and her friends realize they need the help of the legendary fairies. They gather around an ancient glowing map, preparing for a grand adventure across different realms. The first stop is the Fiery Peaks, home to Ignis, the fire fairy. She challenges them to prove their courage before granting them the flame of strength. Next, they reach the Ocean of Echoes, where Nerida, the water fairy, tests their wisdom. Tinker Bell solves an ancient riddle and earns the gift of flowing knowledge. The fairies ascend to the Sky Realm, where Zephyra, the air fairy, awaits. She tests their speed and teamwork, and after passing, they gain the winds of swiftness. With their newfound powers, Tinker Bell and her team return to Fairyland, where Malakar awaits. He unleashes dark magic, but the fairies stand united, ready to fight for their home. As Malakar attacks, the fairies combine their powers, fire, water, air, and light, to form a powerful beam of unity. Malakar is defeated, and the eternal crystal is restored. With the light restored, Fairyland blossoms once more. The legendary fairies smile upon the land, and harmony is restored. As the fairies celebrate, Tinker Bell smiles. True magic isn't about strength alone. It's about friendship, unity, and believing in one another. Fairyland thrives in harmony once again. The moral of the story: true magic is not about individual power, but about unity, courage, wisdom, and kindness. Only by working together can we overcome the darkest challenges and bring light back to the world.